Today's video is brought to you by FLEXISPOT. Every time I'm hunting around for my 16mm prime Fujifilm lens, I always have to stop and remember it's attached to my camera. Hi everyone, welcome to Pal to Tech. The 16mm prime lens from Fujifilm is one of the older and more expensive lenses. It was released in April of 2015 and even to this day is very much loved by Fujifilm photographers. It's not a cheap lens, it's still priced at about $1,000 and it's one of the more expensive lenses I have in this studio. It has an aperture range from f/16 all the way wide open to f1.4. It also has a pull clutch ring. One of the few Fujifilm lenses, in fact, that does. And this allows you to switch the lens from manual focus into autofocus. And when you switch to manual focus, you are presented with manual focus distance markings right here. You see them? Now, because of this, one little thing you got to be careful of with this lens is that sometimes you'll have it in manual, right? And you're out and you're shooting, it's in manual, and then you want to have it in automatic focus, and you just kind of forget about it and it won't work. You have to then pull the ring forward to put it into autofocus mode. It's easy to forget that, and sometimes my first thought is, why isn't autofocus working? Well, it's just because you got to do this. Now, the lens weighs 375 grams and has 13 elements in 11 groups. It takes a filter size on the front of 67 millimeters, and it's also fully weather sealed with 9 different seals in 8 areas to keep dust and moisture out of the lens. And Fujifilm also sells the totally awesome LH-X16 lens hood for it. This is by far my favorite lens hood of any Fujifilm lens or any lens period. Look at how pretty that is. There have been countless videos showing off this lens, whether it's being used for astrophotography, real estate, architecture, or just shooting your kids. The 16mm has something for just about everyone. The image quality is absolutely incredible, and there's not much more that can really be said about it. If you want to take a deep dive into image quality, bokeh, chromatic aberration testing, there are plenty of videos out there. Just search YouTube. It has been covered over and over and again and again. But today I want to tell you the big main reason, the top dog, big cheese, head honcho, #1 reason that this lens is literally on this camera every single day. And it all comes down to 3 words. Are you ready for it? Minimum focus distance. Okay, I'll add a few more words. Quality of minimum focus distance and the background. This lens literally allows you to get as close as 15 centimeters from your subject, almost to the point where you're almost bonking your subject with the hood of the lens. You would not want to shoot poison ivy with this lens or say a wasp's nest. Now, as a comparison, the 18 to 55mm Fujinon lens has a minimum focus distance of 30 centimeters, which is exactly twice the distance. And even the super expensive and super awesome 16 to 55mm zoom lens is again almost twice as far at 30 centimeters. And you can really spot the difference. See the side-by-side comparison between the 30mm minimum focus distance and a 15mm minimum focus distance. With that closer minimum focus distance, you can really zoom in for much better detail and resolution. And the fact that you can open this lens wide open all the way to f1.2 will absolutely guarantee that your background isolation will be incredible. This is my go-to lens for B-roll. The manual pull clutch focus ring is nice and wide. It's easy to turn and control my focus. With the 18 to 55 focus ring, you kind of have to, make your hand go like this to kind of fit it in. With the 16mm, you just do this. It's so much easier. Now, before we continue, I would like to mention a word about the sponsor of this video, FLEXISPOT, and to tell you about their tech day that's going on right now. FLEXISPOT makes all kinds of standing desks and furniture. I've been using their Pro Plus standing desk E7 every single day for over a year now. Being able to stand while I'm at my computer really does raise my energy level, and I notice that I'm more productive productive with my video editing. Here's the thing about standing desks. You don't always want to be standing, right? That does get tiring. You actually want the flexibility of being able to move the standing desk from the sitting position to the standing position in seconds. The desk is very easy to assemble, which can be done in 30 minutes. It comes in a number of colors, materials, and sizes. Everything is controlled by the electronic keypad. You can easily go from standing to sitting in just seconds. And you don't have to worry about the hassle of being locked into having the desk at one dedicated position. And after using it for over a year, I can say that a standing desk is no fad or gimmick. It's actually a much better and I think healthier way to work than just sitting down all the time. If you've been thinking about getting a standing desk, there is no better time than right now. FLEXISPOT's Tech Day is their biggest discount event of the year, and you can get up to 50% off selected furniture. I will have links down below where you can go and check them out. Now, back to the show. Now, it's still focused by wire, but ergonomically, it's a great focus ring to use for video. And when you combine this 16mm lens with Fujifilm X-T4's IBIS, you get the benefits of in-body image stabilization, and you can apply it directly to this lens. One of the trends that I see more and more of today are content creators using their phones to shoot B-roll. And I gotta tell you, there's definitely an argument for doing it that way. First, it's a camera that you pretty much have with you all the time. And secondly, it's cheaper than using a Fujifilm camera and a 16mm lens combo. And if you do have a more modern smartphone, such as the iPhone 13 Pro, you can shoot in Apple ProRes RAW and work with 4K 10-bit 422 video. Heck, you can even slap a third-party external lens on it and bump up your image quality even more. But ironically, I keep returning to the 16mm lens, the hassle of having to deal with SD cards, the bulkier setup, and the more post-production processing time. I'm fine with that, because in the end, most of the time, I'm using this 16mm lens for close-up B-roll in controlled environments, and it works wonderfully for me, and that is the whole point of today's video. It is so easy out there to hear recommendations for a lens or a camera or a piece of gear that more often than not, the reviewer is generally speaking on their own experience and what works best for them. But you're not them and they're not you. And just remember that always when watching any review on any piece of gear. So is the 16mm right for you? Well, frankly, for some of you, I'd say, hell no. But for me, I continue to use the 16mm prime every single day. I love it. It's the lens that I use, the focal length that fits. It works with me and it gets me exactly the content I need quickly with a minimum of fuss. What is the one lens that works for you? Let us know in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and glue this lens onto this camera with some E6000 cement. And of course, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you found it, helpful or at least entertaining. And if you did, be sure to give it the like and subscribe. I can't do this. Okay, have a great weekend, and I will see you in another video next week. Take care. So long. Bye-bye for now.